Alright, so I forgot to have the camera on, but here's a good 13 incher. Alright, that's limit. Hey guys, welcome back to In It for the Limit. Today we're out here just testing out the new Garmin system and the Livescope. It's the first trip, the Maiden Voyage. Now, just to be clear, I have used the system before on someone else's boat, but you know, of course, they had all control. Shannon's had it for about a year now, so it's not new to me. I'm familiar, so there's a little bit of a learning curve when you get new technology. Some of that I kind of got a little bit of cheat by using other people's experience, being able to see it firsthand. So it is the Maiden Voyage for the Livescope on my boat, but again, I've used it a little bit and I'm a little bit familiar with it, but I am curious to see how the perspective mode works and to see what it looks like on stuff I've already know. So I'm not looking at new water right now. One of the best things with Livescope is finding new cover in water. But there's just nothing out there that can find cover just like Livescope can. Now, you can find brush piles pretty quick, or large cover with side imaging, especially with Helix Side Scan Plus. Their mega imaging is pretty clear. It's probably the best out there. But what thing you can't see is vertical structure, and a lot of these stake beds and things like that are out here, they're really hard to pick up on side imaging. You can pick it up on down imaging, but you have to run right over it. So we're gonna do some sweeps. I'm gonna look at what some of these beds look like with perspective mode, just to see if it'll pick up the stake beds, and then we'll do a little bit of fishing too. All right, so stay tuned, let's get to it. We've been spending quite a bit of time just on setup. One thing I was curious about is to get up here on the perspective view. If I get down here, you can see it. This is a stake bed right here on perspective. I had to find it with the forward view. You can see those two fish right there swimming around. The neat thing is it shows you the horizontal. Now, it is windy out here. This is not ideal conditions to be trying things out, but we got the old tracks, otherwise I wouldn't be out here at all. Now, for bass fishing, I can see casting. I'm gonna like this perspective mode. It's really hard to see your jig right here. We might switch. It's neat to see how often. This is one thing you don't get with forward view. Is in forward view, and I'll show you just a minute. We'll switch back. This fish swimming around right here is going to be. You're not going to see that horizontal movement. You'll just pick them all up, and you can't tell how far out. You might be, you know, a few feet to the left or right and completely miss it. And there's some cool videos on, you know, the further out you are, the wider that beam is, the more chance you have of missing it. But we're going to switch over to down to forward view. Actually, I'll show you that. It's not that hard. Just here. Just loosen it up. I'm going to go forward one, and then all the way up to one, back down. Tighten her up. Get a change over here. View, sonar setup, installation, orientation, forward, and there we go. Now, I know they said before, or it lists in the instructions, if you read those, that there might be a little bit of delay, but I do not. I mean, that was instantaneous. So you can see what it looks like in forward view. You can see those a lot. I mean, you can pick it up a lot easier. If you're searching for stake beds, you want to stay on forward, I think. Bump up. You bump up this too. That's another thing, is if you want to, I want to take that as close as I can to get the best image. I'm going to bump this up a little bit. Here's where iPilot comes in handy. You just push a button while I'm back here and get us a little bit closer. Alright, just real quick, I'll show you what I'm doing. I've not really fished much. I caught one little bitty and just playing around, but I'm really just testing everything. I was trying to get everything. It's going to rain here in a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. Rain's coming. But I want to get all my theories in before I started really fishing. So I'm just testing setup. One thing I'm doing here, I'm just running down the bank. I got it pointed sideways, just scrolling, just watching, just seeing what it picks up. And just seeing how it does it in forward view. One thing I found, since this thing rotates, is I can shift this up this way, and now this is pointing the direction of your forward view, and that's what I've been using, doing my Captain Morgan stance up here on the trolling motor, and using it to do my search. And I am still having to look backwards, so when I'm out here by myself, it would be nice to have it up front, but I think it's going to be nice with people fishing in the boat to have it in the back. Right here where I have it about mid-level. Alright, there's a school. 20 feet. Oh, I can get to it. It's right here in the corner. Here we go. Perfect. So we keep getting hits off purple, so we're going all purple. Like I said, cover doesn't make a difference. So it makes a difference. That makes a big difference. Let's see if this one measures. Oh yeah, he's 11. Let's click it. Let's get another crappie magnet. This is what they've been hitting. So I'm gonna put that on both of them. Hands are slick. Alright, uh-oh. I don't want to be right on it. I don't want to hit my trolling motor either. Just drop straight down. Yep. Yep. Yeah, buddy. Yep, with the purple. Another 11. Alright, so looking around looking for schools. I'll show you what we got. And this is actually facing the other direction. Right in front of the boat, underneath that corner, this is what we got. Try not to hit the trolling motor. Which is nice because it's raining. And we're under cover. We'll need to click that one. And we're not using the scope to find them, we're just fishing. Ooh, I missed it. Put some weight, a little nibble, then some weight. Again. There we go. There's another little one. Move into the dinks. That's about 3 more clicks. Just trying to see where my jig's falling in relation to that school. You don't always get this lucky. You have the slip open and be able to get into these schools because you're usually in the back of them. See what my jig's falling. There we go. It's actually getting into it quite a bit. It's in the heart of it, so I think that school just runs right along down through here. So I'm gonna change my position and let it swing through right here. Oh, another little one. Pulled keeper out the first couple, but I think we're in the little bitty ones now. Yeah, I am missing a good chunk of them. Might be able to get some on the other side once it dies here. Keep or not. I'm gonna measure him and see. That's a little better. That will probably keep. Have to clean it up a bit. There's some 10-inch markies. Almost 11. We're right on top of them. That's why I'm not hitting the trolling motor. I know it looks crazy that I'm fishing right against the trolling motor, but I do not want to hit the motor. I see where I'm at. We're all along them right here. All the way down through. I'm hung. I'm hung on the fish, I believe. Let me run down. Yep. I got hung up one of them fish trees. Oh, that was quick. Yep. Another one. He looked like a keeper on the scope. So that's a good one. Not quite a donkey, but probably 11 and almost 12. Yeah, 11 right at 7, 8. So when you're out here looking, what you were looking for is a school. Okay, not. Let me down here and show you. What you're looking for is a school. You don't want to waste your time on those 1 or 2ers. I chased them this morning and got lucky and found a school that we could actually get to. A lot of times you can't get to them in here, in places like this. And the purple really is making a difference. Purple and chartreuse. There's good fish down there, I can see. Oops. That'll run a spot if you're not careful. There's a giant down there. I don't think that was him, but this is my keep. I think I'm gonna eat these whole. I'm gonna fillet these. Yep. Is that 9? I'm actually just gonna stay right here. It's just as easy to fish from back here, which is good. Good for when I take people. That's what I'm trying to see. This one, you hit like a big one. He was just mean. If everybody's out here, they'll think I'm crazy talking to myself. It's alright. I'm crazy. I'm actually able to get in this skull pretty good. That's a little one. He's got it though. Ooh. Let you back over here. Don't you go tell everybody I'm up here now. I'll be tattletale. Alright, let's see if we can get one on camera here. I'm just going to put the camera on the scope. So we'll look at a couple different techniques that I use since we can see it on the Livescope here. This first one's just going to be a vertical drop. This is just a traditional presentation. Most people use this, just dropping it straight down. You don't need a Livescope to do this. You just need to know the depth. I'm just dropping it straight down. I'm going to pop it a couple times, and he's going to hit. Not that big. He's just underneath the transducer. Big. Now this next fish, I'm going to do a couple different things. I see a specific fish that I want, so I'm going to drop straight down to it, just like I did last time, as you would normally do. But I'm also going to try to turn him. You can see me here turning him. I'm kind of jigging it, flicking it. Sometimes what I'll do is I always keep my finger on the line. So I'll flick it a few times. All that does is just give the jig. You might not even be able to see it on the scope, just a little bit of a flicker. And I've already tried to turn him and things, but I see another fish coming in. So I'm going to do what I've actually noticed before. I'm going to kind of swing this back towards that other fish. I've seen this happen before on the scope. When you get some competition, you got 2 fish interested, sometimes you can get one to actually bite it. So I kind of swing it back towards this other fish here, and I got him to turn, and now they're both looking. And then when you get them both interested, you'll see the one come up and hit it. It's maybe about hit that. Steps with it. Oh, it's a crappie. Oops. Might be a keeper. This next technique is one of my favorites. I call it swinging. You're just casting it out and you let it pendulum back to you. I've let it drop to the depth of the fish where they're at, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a pop here when I see a fish coming to it, and that's just enough to get him to bite. There we go. Both got this to bite. Just enough to get this one. This last one is just a fish hitting it immediately on the fall, which you always hear people about keeping your line tight so you can feel it. You can see him right there. He just immediately hits it as it falls in the water. He probably realized not being in the 15. Baby on board. Baby on board. Oh, we're still catching fish. That was a keeper. If you get off on your own, it's not going to bother me none. Yep, a little bit of meat on him. That's 20 keepers. It's hard work, I tell you. That was a good one. He came from outside the screen, yeah. There we go. Probably 11 and a half. Yep, right at 11. Oh. 21 keepers. Right? Is that what it was? I think it's 21. I can't count past 20. Run out of fingers and toes. Alright guys, going to wrap up the trip. Ended up the day with 38 total. 21 keepers, taking 15 home, that's the limit, and spent the first 3 hours of this trip just working on settings, not just on Livescope, but it's first time having the pole out, first time having the scope out, first time having the Garmin. I've not had side view on this boat before, so it was a lot of playing with settings. It was real windy, so I had to go find a cove and just mess around with things. Once I got things the way I wanted to, I spent a little bit of time just hitting some different spots. Tried to do some hunting for cover, just seeing how the setup itself in the boat worked with it mounted where it's at. Of course, it probably would be easier if I had it mounted up front and if I had a scope up front by myself, but I think I'm gonna like it being in the mid-boat level, taking people fishing. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot easier, and I just practice boat setup and things like that. All those things you have to do when you get a new system. So that was the first probably 3 hours of the trip. About 2 o'clock I pulled in to the last spot, and which is where we caught almost all of our fish. Now, got lucky. We hit a marina pattern, and a lot of times that doesn't pay off because the crappie will school up underneath, and a lot of times you can't get to them, especially if it's a real busy marina and there's not any empty slips. They'll go to the very middle where there's the most cover and where those big poles that hold the slips in place are mounted. They'll hold onto those poles and you just can't get to them. Got lucky, especially since it was raining, so I was able to get out of the rain. I was able to reach the fish and got some pretty cool footage, I hope, of that. So hopefully you'll see that in the video. But almost everything came out of that one school, and that's when you're crappie fishing. There are some other schools that were scattered. There weren't that many fish, and you can snap fish, especially with Livescope. You can pull, 2 or 3 off and just keep hitting bed after bed after bed. But what you're really looking for is those big schools, and when you get into those, I mean, that changes your whole trip. You can get a limit quick, and then you can also get into some, especially if it's a good size school. Where I was at, and this could work at any marina. It doesn't have to be the one I was in. You could do this at any marina. Because you usually have deep water and plenty of cover. It's just a matter of finding, getting lucky enough to be able to get back in there to them. So if you get lucky and get a school that's got some good size, the one that I was able to get in today had a lot of keepers in it, 21 to be exact, and we probably could have kept fishing. I wanted to get in. It's starting to get dark. It's temperature's going to drop. So, and it's wet, and I want to get home and clean these fish. So, great first trip on the Maiden Voyage with the Livescope. It's going to be fun. So I look forward to posting some more videos about that. I do need to clean up the settings a little bit. I ran with the TVG on some, with off. I just tested a lot of different things. So it'll probably be a bit before I figure out what I like. And it'll probably change based on where I'm fishing too. So if you like these type of videos, please like and subscribe. Until next time, guys, keep chasing that limit.